Okay, I've got the voltage comparator off, and I'll show you all that in a minute, but what I want to do now is check and see if I'm showing a short off of anything. So first thing I'm going to test, here's the ohm meter up here. Let's just go to any ground. There we go, we're good there. So what I want to do is just find a spot where I'm checking again. There it is. So this one here, this pin here should be ground if I can find it again. Pretty close, 1.5. Now this would be the, I believe, the output. 45 k ohms. That's probably pretty good. Now comes the input. Remember we had like 150 or something, I think. There's the input, 99.5 k ohms. So that's pretty good. So now, let me get something to hold that comparator down with, and we'll check that. Hang on 1 minute. Okay, that little black speck there, that's what I'm testing. The far right lead would be the ground. So let's see. Let me put a magnifying glass on so I know for sure what I'm getting. Far right lead would be the ground. The far on the end would be the input. 20 ohms, and then there, I'm sorry, that was 150 some was the input. So all the way around, that is reading 150 between the output and ground, and 20 ohms between the input and ground. So that definitely has an issue with it. So now, just so happens, put this over here, I'll put it up there like so. Just so happens that I got some new ones here. Yesterday I couldn't get it to go back in, today I can't get it to come out. Come on. You saw a little integrated circuit. There we go. Put my strap back on for that. So, let's see now. Remember I said far right would be the ground. Turn the light back on. Can you still see everything? Yeah, far right would be the ground. Far left would be the input. 3 megs. Middle would be the output. 4.8 megs. So the other IC is definitely kaput. So I'll show you where it came from the board. Put this one back up here like so, just to get it out of my way. Give me a couple seconds to get the magnifying glass set up on the screen. So I actually used these to get it off, and fortunately there was a good amount of room in there. If you get really tight with these, I don't know that you'd be able to get these in there. Like I said before, I didn't want to use the hot air gun. It did kind of have to get a little bit hot with these, but you'll see why in a minute. Okay, sorry, that was my head again. I'm going to shoot you up to the screen. Okay, so that's this area right here is where I'm talking, and the center, which is actually the output, you can see how big of a plane that had there. Huge. I believe the center's, I'll have to double check again, but so just looking, it looks like it goes that capacitor, but let me see. I don't have the schematic up for this right now, but that would have, anyhow, that is, took a pretty long time to get that hot enough to remove the chip. Now when I say long time, I don't mean like 10 minutes or anything, I just mean more than 2 seconds. So So anyhow, it's all cleaned up. I'll just, I mean, the solder's lifted. I'll just have to clean it to get this. This is like a sealer that they spray on the board, almost like a shellac or something. I'll clean that all off, be ready to put it on. I'm still hesitant with starting it up because I don't know why that went in the first place, or why the Zener went, and I showed you that already. I didn't put that in yet too, but I got that as well. So I'll be putting that on soon. So that's it for now. Okay, there's the new comparator soldered in. And let's see if I can show you. I put the diode in as well. And there's the diode right there. It's soldered in. So those are the two components that were bad. So now I have to put this board back in that radio and find out where to go from there. Still not sure why those devices blew up. I don't know if I'll ever know. I just don't know if there's anything else there that's going to cause that to happen. Alright, so I'm going to go grab the radio, put the board back in. You don't really need to watch all that. And then once I get that, we'll power it up and bring it up slowly with low current and see what happens. Okay, so here it goes. I think everything's hooked up. Haven't fired it up yet. And I have U camera facing nice and high to look down to if something smokes, pops, or whatever. Maybe you can help see what I don't see. I'll put the negative terminal on and see what happens. Heard something make noise. I definitely have a display on the radio. I'm going to take the power back off here because I wasn't expecting all that. So we're going to flip it over and put the speaker back on it. And an antenna just in case it goes into transmit. This is so low power that it wouldn't let it go to transmit anyhow, but I'll leave this here again. Spin the radio over. Okay, for the time being, I'll leave it on high. Just in case something goes on, you'll be able to look straight down on the radio and see. Well, let me plug the speaker in. Let me get the speaker and plug that in. Alright, I lightly screwed the speaker in. Let's see. Now we're going to connect this power lead back up again. Alright, I see the radio's on. Looks like there's maybe a display light issue. I don't know. I can't. It's lit up, but I don't know if there's a way to adjust it brighter. Oops, sorry, brighter or not. Let's see. Well, it definitely seems to be listening. Let's go to obviously we have to let me turn it on. I'm going to have to look and see what all the settings are. Sounds like I need to adjust the filters on it. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm tickled to death. I didn't think we were going to get all this out of this, and things seems to work just fine. So what I want to do is read up on the basic adjustments of it and throw it on a dummy load, see what kind of power output we have is, what kind of power consumption. Right now I got 13.74 volts going into it. And it looks like it's taken a little over 1.5 amps, which I think is about what the book specifies for it. So now that sounds a little bit iffy, but that's just one signal. So let me just see if there's any filters. I probably want to do a reset on this because I don't know what's set for what. So I'll have to look that up and see how to do a reset and put everything back to factory specifications. Just want to go up and see if I can find any of the time. Well, that's with my big outside antenna, but that's the universal time coordinate. So we'll wait till we hear them talk. Come on, don't be shy. All right, well, other than it faded right when we wanted to hear him talk. All right, got it hooked up to a power supply that can do the kind of power this needs for transmit. The first thing we want to do is reset the, well, first we'll turn the power supply on. And we'll reset the CPU. It says, let's see, push F input and MCL, so these two, that, and then turn the power on. Turn the power on, we'll turn it off. I think that means it's reset. Yeah, there's no channel in there. So it's showing 1.4 amps on the draw, 1.3. So that looks pretty good. Let's go. I have the dummy load in. Turn on that. It's on a 100 watt slug. It's on the multiply by 1. Let's go to 14.2. Somewhere there, and just, it's into a dummy load, so it doesn't much matter. I can turn this up. Okay, it'll probably take me a month to get through this, but apparently, since I've reset it, this knob acts as both the RF gain and the squelch. You can make it so it's either, turn it off, but so I'm going to leave it the way it is for right now. I'm not used to having a squelch control there, and I very rarely use it, so I may turn it off. But either way. So anyhow, now we're back. Let me turn this down a little bit so we don't have all that noise. And then I wanted to put it somewhere. We'll go to upper sideband into that. And let's see. This one's RF power. This one here is mic gain. I'll plug the microphone back in again. There we go. See the fan starts to spin inside there the second I turn this on. Okay, well, I can see we've got some power coming out there. Turn that on. Let's see. Test 1, 2. Hello, hello. Okay, right about 100. It's going right up to about 100 watts, which is about what it should. Let me just zoom down. Let's try 28. Go 28. 4 something. In the upper sideband. Hello, hello. See, well, you can't really see. I guess you can see it back there. I'll lift it up a little bit and zoom into the bird back there in the corner. There it is. So it's a 100 watt slug, and it's on the 100. That would be the scale right there. This is 100. That's as far as it's going to go. We're on sideband, so it'll be picking up off of my modulation. Hello, hello. It's actually going a little over 100. So that means we do have full output. Oh, I wanted to see what this does when I'm going to 100. Hello, hello. Almost 14 amps. That's what the power supply does. I always wanted to see how that went. You probably could have been looking at it on the last video. Okay, let me zoom back up. And I had to bring the computer down that the manual's on for this, because this is going to be just like programming the cockpit on a 747 or something. It definitely does a lot of stuff. I have a Kenwood, 590, TS 590, and I think those are like the easiest to use radios in the world. I mean, they do a lot of things, and I don't use it for a lot of the stuff that it can be used for, but they're just very simple. Pretty much turn them on and muddle through the rest. This has a lot of secretive things it can do. So let's see. Other than that, a couple things I just did want to say is when I use when I was doing the surface mount soldering, I generally use my soldering iron, set it at 650. The setting for 65, which I think is close to 650 degrees Fahrenheit. That seems to just work well for me. I know sometimes I may have to stay on something a little bit longer, but at least I'm not worried about burning the pads off the board. Now when I get to some of the vacuum tube stuff I do, or some of the ground plane stuff, I'll go up. I've gone up to like 800 already to get some of that vacuum stuff in the ground planes. And I also have a soldering gun that I use sometimes. But 650 seems to work. The solder that I use, and I know I showed it at one point, I don't know if it was in this video or a different video. It works great for electronic stuff, but I will tell you it's a little on the thick side for surface mount. You can do it, but you have to have a very gentle hand, because just a touch of that solder is too much. You can see it looks like it's really thin, but when you go ahead and put it up against the leg of an IC like those, the two that I replaced, it looks giant. So if you're going to do that, maybe get some smaller solder for yourself. I don't do a lot of surface mount work, but certainly I guess I should probably get some, because it's the quickest way to ruin something is by not having the right tools. So I got lucky with this one because I have the okay tools, but not the right tools. And that's this thing that basically, whether you're an auto mechanic or not, it's the tools that really make you do a successful job. So anyhow, enough about my babbling on and on about that. I think we're done with this. We can put it back together. Maybe I'll throw the antenna on and see if anybody's floating around that can listen to me and tell me how things sound, even though I don't know how to adjust half the crap on this yet.
Big thing there, and I think there's a whole lot of good that can come of it. We just have to keep our own best.
QSL, that is correct. Name is Tim, Tango India Mike in Pennsylvania. You're up here with about a 9-pounder.
Yeah, QSL, Tim, do I have your call correct? Okay, QSL, you say Tim?
Correct, name is Tim, Tango India Mike.
QSL,
Very good, Willie. You're a 5'9" here, 5'9" into Pennsylvania.
Yeah, aquí está el team. Thank you for the contact. 73. I'll make sure of it.
So anyhow, it works.
The Kilo India 5.
Let me just put it back together. Okay, been running it for probably over an hour, and no issues with it. Seems to work okay. So I think we'll stamp this one as a completed. So it's clean it up a little bit. It's one Icom IC746 that's happy that it won't be on a park shelf or in a landfill somewhere. So hopefully it was helpful, or at least you found something you can use from this video. And thanks for watching.